Hi students, in this class we see exercise problem number 3 from chapter number 1. 5 identical charges Q are placed equidistant on a semicircle as shown in the figure. Another point charge small q is kept at the center of the circle of radius r. Calculate the electrostatic force experienced by the charge small q. So what they are telling, they are having 5 identical charges, right? So 5 identical charges. What do you mean by identical charges? They should have same polarity, right? And they should have same magnitude. The magnitude must be same, the polarity must be same. Suppose let us assume this is charge number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means what? All the charges are having the same polarity. If either all the 5 charges must be positive or all the 5 charges must be negative, and they should have the same magnitude. If one is 5 microcoulomb, all the charges must be 5 microcoulomb. That's the meaning of identical charges. And they are placed equidistant on a semicircle. See, from small q to capital Q, this is r, means this distance is also r because it is a semicircle, so radius is same. So this is r, this is r, this is r, this is r. Clear? Now what I have to find, calculate the electrostatic force on this small q. Clear? That is what my aim. So what is the total force on small q? Fq is equal to force on q by charge 1, force on q by charge 2, force on q by charge 3, force on q by charge 4, plus force on q by charge 5. What is this? It is superposition of charges that we studied, right? So now we have to find all the 5 substitute, right? Okay, now we see that, let us take I first simplify the problem, right? You see charge number 5, charge number 1 and charge number 5, they are exactly opposite, their location is exactly opposite to small q, and they are along the same distance. For example, suppose this q1 is positive, then what is the meaning of this q5? This is also positive because they are having the same polarity. Let us assume this small q is also positive. What will happen? This q1 will create opposing force because same polarity, so it will push that this side. What q5 will do? Q5 is also positive, so this will push q to this direction, but force will be equal because q1 is equal to q5, so total force will be equal. So what will happen? The force generated by q1 is cancelled by force generated by q5 on small q. So what will happen? That is q, the force generated on q by 1 is exactly opposite to force generated on q by 5. Yes or no? Because they are in the same distance and they are having the same magnitude, but they are producing force in opposite direction. So Fq1 is equal to minus Fq5. So if you substitute minus Fq5 here, these two will be cancelled. So this will be 0. So the contribution of force from charge Q1 and Q5 is 0. So I have to find Fq2, Fq3, Fq4 only. Clear? Okay, now we find Fq3, force on charge Q by 3. So as per the diagram, small q is located here, this case number 2. Let us assume this case number 1, this is case number 2. Small q is located here, capital Q is located here. What is the distance? R. Right? So use Coulomb's law. So we know that F is equal to K, that is 1 by 4 by epsilon naught. Multiplication of two charges, one is capital Q and another one is small q. What is the distance? Distance squared r squared. What is unit vector? You see these are all lying along the x direction. What is the unit vector along the x direction? I. So I put I cap. So instead of r cap we substitute I cap. So this is FQ3, force on charge Q by 3, right? We are using Coulomb's law, right? Instead of R cap, we are putting I cap because the unit vector is along the x direction. Because force is, what will happen? This charge either attract or repel this charge along the x direction only. It may be repel like this or attracted in this direction, but it is lying in the x direction. So we put I cap. Now we have to find FQ2 and FQ4, right? So I draw the diagram for simplicity. You see, case number 3, I have to find FQ2 and FQ4, right? Okay, you see here, this is somewhat critical, you have to watch carefully. So I draw big one, right? So this is my charge, discharge Q is located here, right? Q2 is located here, we know Q4 is located here. Here Q3, here Q1. Q2 is exactly centered to the Q1 and the Q3. Q4 is exactly centered to the Q3 and Q5, right? Okay, now we see for discharge, we know this is R and resultant vector will be in I direction. For discharge, this is in this direction, so we can put J, but it is cancelled, so no problem. But what about this? This is in this direction. We don't know in which direction the resultant force, I or J or K, we don't know that. This is I, we know. This is J, we know. But what about this one? Whether it is belonging to I or J, so for that only we are going to resolve this vector into two component, right? This is, let us assume R vector. So because it is R, no, because this distance is R, everything is at equal distance. That's what I have told here, right? You see here, everything is at a distance of R. So this is R. So what I am going to do, I do one thing. I resolve this vector into two components that we studied in 11th standard itself, right? So if you want to find this one, what is the total distance? Summation of these two. Vector addition we have known, right? So this is A, this is B, this is C, means what is the point? AC is equal to AB plus BC. So instead of this one, I split into horizontal component. This is horizontal, this is vertical component. This we studied in 11th standard, right? So the same concept, I split this R, I split into one horizontal component, right? So R resolve into horizontal component, okay? This one, and vertical component, this one, clear? Similarly, I resolve this R vector into two component. One is horizontal component and another one is vertical component. Clear? So this horizontal, this addition, this plus this will give this one. Similarly, this plus this will give this one. Clear? So that's what our motto, right? So what is the angle? This is at the center. So this angle is this 45 degree because this is exactly at the center between center of Q1 and Q3. So total is 90 degree, half is 45. Similarly, this is at the center of Q3 and Q5. So this angle is 45 degree. Clear? Okay. Let us assume this is O, for example. This is A, this is B, this is C. Clear? Okay. Now what we have to do is take triangle BOA. Right, BOA, this triangle you take, right? What is, I want this side, adjacent side and opposite side, because I am resolving this vector into two parts. So I want to know this side and I want to know this side. That is equal, that sum is equal to this R. So what is BOA? We find from BOA, I want to find, for example, this 45, instead of 45 you just make theta. Later we substitute theta is equal to 45. Sin theta. Sin theta is equal to what? Let us assume this is theta, not 45 for time being. Sin theta is equal to opposite side. Opposite side is AB. Adjacent side is sorry, hypotenuse is R, because sin theta is opposite by hypotenuse. So what is my AB? That is AB is equal to R sin theta. Yes or no? So AB is equal to R sin theta going in this direction. So this is R sin theta means this distance is also R sin theta because it's a triangle, sorry, rectangle. So this distance is R sin theta. This distance from here to here is R sin theta, the same length, right? Similarly, what we are going to do is, here you see what is my cos theta for the same triangle. Cos theta is adjacent. Adjacent is OA. OA. So OA divided by hypotenuse R. This implies OA is equal to R cos theta. So this side is R cos theta. So this length is R cos theta means if you take this triangle COA, take triangle COA. For this also cos theta is again, sorry, adjacent side is R cos theta because same length only. So adjacent OA is R cos theta. Right? I find sin theta. What is my sin theta for this theta? Again, you don't take 45 theta. Theta is the opposite side. What is my opposite side? AC divided by hypotenuse is R. This length is R. Right? We know. So what is my AC? AC is equal to R sin theta. So this is R sin theta. This length is R sin theta means this length is also R sin theta, but opposite in this direction. So this is R sin theta, this is R sin theta. They are exactly opposite, so they will cancel. Fine. So only this R cos theta contributes to the force, right? So this R sin theta is cancelling. Now we find the force. What is the force on charge small q due to capital Q2? So that is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, right, into capital Q, small q. Only R cos theta contributes. R cos theta contributes. So that is R, right? So R into cos 45. So that R only we are putting. So cos 45 only contributes, right? Okay. Similarly, what about FQ4? FQ4 is 1 by 4 by epsilon naught, capital Q, small q, cos 45. This is only contributing. This is only contributing, but this is not contributing because these two are cancelled. So QQ 45 degree, right? So in which direction? I direction, because this is in Q. So this is I cap, this is I cap. So I found what is FQ2, FQ4 and all. Right, so what is total force? Already we found FQ3. FQ3 is 1 by 4 by epsilon naught QQ by R squared I cap. So what is my total force? FQ is equal to FQ2 plus FQ3 plus FQ4. FQ2 is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught QQ, cos 45 is 1 by root 2. FQ3 I cap, I direction. FQ3 is 1 by 4 by epsilon naught QQ I cap plus FQ4 is 1 by 4 by epsilon naught QQ 1 by root 2, because again cos 45 1 by root 2 I cap, right? So if we add all the things, what is common? 1 by 4 by epsilon naught Q q are all common, right? This is 1 by root 2 plus 1 plus 1 by root 2 I cap, right? So that is given by 1 plus 4 by epsilon naught, 1 by 4 by epsilon naught q. This is 1 by root 2 plus 1 by root 2, 2 by root 2 I cap. 2 by root 2 is root 2. Clear? So what is the answer? My total charge force on Q is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught QQ into 1 plus root 2 I cap. Right? And the unit is Newton. Right? So this is the answer for the problem. Right? If you are having any doubt, please ask me in comment section. I will clarify all your doubts. Thank you.